Let me begin. Okay, good evening to all. Itong discussion ito, itong debate na ito ay isa sa mahalagang punto de vista na dapat pong maisaliksik po ng bawat isa. This is what we are talking about here. A serious historical inquiry. Ay, wait. Ayan. So you see my friends, excuse me. Sorry kung tumatak mo yan. Okay. So dito po, sapat ba ang evidence na si Jesus of Nazareth ay isang tunay na historical figure? Kung mali ang Christianity, then we can throw it under the bus. Pero kung totoo ito, karapat dapat po itong yakapin. Ngayon mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, i-remind ko po sa lahat, if Jesus did not exist, Christianity collapses. But if He did exist, ignoring Him is not an option. Ito kasi kagandahan sa Christianity, falsifiable. Hindi ito blind faith. The Apostle Paul himself said, if Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile. Kaya malinaw po ang tanong, ano pong sinasabi ng kasaysayan? Ngayon, bakit mahalaga po ang diskusyon nito? Kasi sa ngayon, sa internet age po ngayon, internet mysticism is growing. Kitang-kita naman po yan, lalo po sa kasalukuyan. Pero popularity po ba ito or scholarly? Kasi sa history, we are talking about evidence, hindi po paramihan sa likes. Linawin ko po mismo yung position statement ko po, guys, no? Jesus of Nazareth existed as a real historical person, was crucified, and his resurrection is the best historical explanation of data. Hindi ko po sinasabi dito, totoo ito kasi naniniwala ko. No. O kaya sinasabi, I believe that Jesus exists because the Bible says so. No. Totoo ito dahil ito ang pinakamagandang explanation sa historical evidence. Now, ang aking burden dito ay ipakita sa inyo ang positive case for the historical Jesus. Use accepted historical methods and cite early, multiple, and independent sources. At syempre, mamaya, sa ating kaibigan na si Sir Ilu, magpo-provide siya ng better explanation dito. At mag-provide siya later ng kanyang best evidence ancient evidence that Jesus did not exist. Linawin natin, we are talking about historical existence of Jesus, the ancient history, what historians can conclude using evidence. Hindi po natin pag-uusapan dito na tungkol sa inspiration ng Bible. We are not talking about inerrancy debates. We are not talking about theology first. At lalong, we're not talking about modern science or some sort. Kasi you see, hindi pa hanap ng history ang CCTV, DNA, birth certificate. Kasi kung ganyan ang standard natin, if we will go on to use this on Julius Caesar, Socrates, or Buddha, or whoever, wasak po yan. Ulitin po natin, ang scope clarification po natin dito. This debate is all about ancient history, historical existence, and what historians can conclude using evidence. Now, let's go to the argument number 1. Early and multiple sources. Jesus Christ is one of the best attested figures of. May po tayong sources from the Apostle Paul, yung mga writings niya. Pre-Pauline creeds like in 1 Corinthians 15. Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. The Gospel according to John. Pati rin yung mga non-Christian sources like Josephus and Tacitus. You see, ang core facts tungkol kay Jesus ay napakaaga, early. Hindi po siya legend, hindi po siya myth, so to speak. Ganyan nabanggit ko yung 1 Corinthians 15 creed. Ito po ay nailathala, or let me say, ito po ay pinapresenta na within 2 to 5 years after crucifixion. Guys, hindi pa nga tapos ang legend window rito. At kung alamat lang yan, masyadong maaga naman sa source niyan. Second, enemy and hostile testimony. Hindi ka mag-iimbento ng ganitong issue dito. You don't invent enemies to support a myth. Take note guys, itong critical point Hindi Christian propaganda yan. We can mention Tacitus, Josephus, and even Talmud. If Jesus did not exist, bakit siya binabanggit ng mga hostile testimonies na yan? Hindi mo tinatanggihan isang taong hindi mo pinaniniwalaang nag-exist. Hindi mo binabanggit ang taong hindi mo inaakalang umiiral. My friends, itong hostile testimony na yan, they hated Jesus, but they admitted that He lived and He was crucified under Pontius Pilate. Siyempre, meron po tayong embarrassing details. Guys, kung legend po yan, disin sana hindi po kasali yung mga embarrassing details niyan. Legends glorify heroes, but history records embarrassment. What do I mean by that? You see, sa Jewish culture, ang crucifixion ay itinuturing na kasumpa-sumpa. And yet, Jesus has been killed by means of crucifixion. Concerning to this, yung mga babae na nakakita kay Christ na nabuhay muli, so to speak, nakita nila na siya yung nabuhay muli at that point, ito pa lang, ang mga babae nung time na yan, nung first century, ang kanilang testimonya ay hindi po tatanggapin noon. Now, kung gusto po natin na sabihin na ito'y invento, ay dapat mga lalaki. No. At saka nabanggit na rin, mga disipulong takot na takot. Kung alamat lang yan, dapat hindi po nakarecord yan. At kung propaganda yan, napakapalpak naman po yan. Kasi no Jew invents a crucified Messiah. And no first century writer invents female witnesses. Also, we've got Jewish and Roman context. Andiyan na yan. Archaeology confirms the world of the Gospels. Nakumpirma pong existence ni Pontius Pilate. Alam po natin na mayroong Caiaphas na nag-exist dahil sa mga buto niya na nasa ossuary. Alam natin na meron palang Nazareth na nag-exist noon panahon yon, noong first century. So, paano po yung masasabi na ito raw ay alamat, so to speak, o legend? And syempre, concerning to the transformation of disciples, mamaya-maya ipipinpoint natin yan. You see, radical po yung, radical po yung naging transformation nila. You see, my friends, ito pong mga disipulo ni Kristo sa time na yan, noong time na si Christ ay huhulihin, pinagbubugbog, ipinapatay, nagsitakbo sila noon, dulot ng takot, kaduwagan. Si Apostle Peter, 3 times he denied Jesus, 3 times. And yet, after many days, biglang lumabas ang mga disipulo ni Kristo and they proclaiming that they had witnessed the risen Jesus ng may katapangan. And we know, and the rest is history, so to speak. At saka, people die for lies they believe are true, but not for lies they know are false. You see, excuse me, titingnan po natin sa best explanation ng data dyan, especially on the resurrection accounts. Meron po tayong tinatawag na minimal facts dyan. Okay? Like Jesus died by crucifixion, disciples believe He rose from the dead, early proclamation, radical transformations, and Paul and James converted. Ito ang pinakamahalagang punto. Hindi lang basta parang ito ay nai-present because the Bible says so. No. Ito ay katotohanan na tinatanggap ng majority ng mga scholars. Kahit pa mga skeptics din. Now, you see, kung titignan po natin ang mythicism position na sa aking ipinagpapalagay ay posisyon ni Mr. Ilu. Take note, ang kanyang position kasi dyan, Jesus did not exist. Pero mamaya-maya, papakinggan po din natin yung kanyang mga argument later. But for the meantime, gusto kong ipinpoint sa inyo yung punto. Why mythicism fails? Number 1, sorry po sa mga pusa na nandyan sa paligid anyway. Number 1, too early yung mga eyewitness data. First century. Pangalawa, Jewish anti-myth culture. Pangatlo, no parallel faith. And lastly, walang masasabing explanation. Bakit kaya lumaganap ang Christianity on that time? But my friends, history does look for perfect explanation. It looks for best explanation. At dito, the evidence of Jesus of Nazareth, including his resurrection, is the best and clear answer. Mythicism is fringe, not mainstream. It creates more problems than solutions, so to speak. Now, listen, my friends. If Jesus really existed, and based on our historical data, he is, then his claims matter. That he really claimed divine authority, he claimed to be God, he predicted his death, and he predicted his resurrection. Hindi pwedeng great moral teacher lang. At lalong hindi pwedeng, legend lang. And if the resurrection is true, if God exists, if Jesus is real person who lived on the first century Israel, if he really claimed to be God, if he died and rose again, game over. Christianity is true. Now, in conclusion, listen. Jesus is not a problem for history. He is the solution. Meron po tayong strong historical foundation. Meron po tayong, open. Ito'y open to falsification and grounded in evidence. At the end of the day kasi mga kapatid, let me, ayan. You see, ang pagsasabi dito na Jesus did not exist, dito pa lang dapat magpresenta ito ng alternative explanation sa mga data na nabanggit natin. Guys, hindi po sapat sa pagsasabing presupposition lang yan. O kaya recycled arguments lang yan. Kasi pag sinasabi po nating argument, recycled argument lang, what does it mean? Paano? I don't know kung isasali po ito, but let us see later. He must have to explain to us the alternative explanation. If Jesus did not really exist, then how can he explain the rapid spread of the Christian faith in the midst of persecution? He must have to yung mga mythicists po na mga kaibigan natin, they must have to explain to us ano ba ang best explanation sa mga data na nabanggit. At kung ipipresenta yung sinasabing, let's say, minimal facts approach like from Habermas, Licona, and others, dapat may explanation din doon. How about the existence of the cities na nakarecord sa New Testament? How about the reliability of the Bible, so to speak, particularly po reliability of the Gospels na naisulat on the time of the eyewitnesses, kumbaga. You see, at the end of the day, as we go to investigate those data, and here, I am challenging every single person here in this room na nakikinig sa atin. I already presented those pieces of evidence. It really existed. That Jesus of Nazareth really lived. Mamaya, pakinggan nyo later yung side naman ni Mr. Ilu. After that, even after the cross-examination, after the reflection, after the concluding statement, ito po ang hamon po sa ating lahat. Not only to myself, not only to Ilu, but to all of us who are listening. Timbang-timbangin po natin. Timbang-timbangin po natin ang evidence for ourselves. Not just, hindi, si Sir Ruel ang pinapanigan ko, tama siya, kaya panalo siya. No, hindi po ganun, kapatid. If we truly love truth, as we claim to be, dito po, ito na po yung time, ito na po yung panahon para sa atin po natin mabuti. So, wait a minute. Okay, sorry for that. So, to end this up, I would like to recognize the evidence na ipipresenta dito. Not only the evidence na aking pinesenta right now. Meron po tayong matibay na katibayan na nagpapatunay na may Jesus na taga Nazareth na nabuhay on the first century. Ngayon, na kay Mr. Ilu ngayon ang burden of proof para patunayan na hindi nag-exist si Jesus. So to end this up, if Jesus is real, what can you do to him? If Jesus really existed, if he really claimed to be God, if he really claimed that he rose from the dead, well, would you become a Christian? Nasa sa inyo pong pagpapasya, mga kapatid. At nawa, sa pagtatapos ng aming pagtalakay, kayo rin po ang makapagpasya dyan. But for now on, ito lamang po ang aking presentation for now. And I hope and I'm praying na mas magkakaroon po kayo ng masusing pananaliksik sa mga ebidensya na aking presenta. Jesus existed. Jesus is... Good evening to all of you.
Ayan. So, before we begin, listen carefully. History is not proven by quote mining. Quotes without justification are meaningless. Evidence must be argued, not parroted. Did Jesus exist? Next. Yeah. So, I begin with the words of Dr. Richard Carrier, a trained historian of the Greco-Roman era. Next. Yeah, can you go back? Yeah, so extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The evidence for Jesus is lacking, contradictory, and not contemporary. Next. If you believe that the historicity of Papa Jesus is a settled, already established fact, then you're absolutely wrong. Pwede pa-post ng time kasi umuuna kasi yung wait lang. Baka kasi may technical issue sa side ni Serang Sera. Pwede ba yun?
Hello, ano nangyari?
Umuuna kasi yung slide. Hindi ko alam kung autoplay or all goods ba tayo? Sera.
Hello, Ate Sera.
All goods. Sorry. All goods.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So, my fellow atheists would like to accept that Papa Jesus existed. But if we truly care about historical truth, we cannot accept claims without solid grounds. The first question we should ask is not about Papa Jesus is a real cosmic daddy. It is whether there was a historical Jesus at all. Next. Okay. Now, nag-double click ka. Lumampas. There you go. Yeah. Now let's hear it directly from Bart Ehrman himself that my opponent cannot stop quoting. Daddy Ehrman said in his book, Jesus Apocalyptic Prophet of a New Millennium, and here I quote in a simplified version, strange as it sounds, no one mentioned Jesus during his lifetime. There are no birth records, no court documents, no execution, no records, nothing. We also have inscription, letter, and legal documents written on stone and papyrus. Yet in all of this surviving material, Jesus of Nazareth never appears at all. Next. The silence of contemporary historian during the presumed lifetime of Papa Jesus is suspiciously problematic. This is what critics called as an argument from silence. Imagine, the greatest man on earth to ever live, who was said to gather crowds, perform public miracles, disrupt the famous Jewish temple, executed by the Roman authority, and talk to the prefect of Judea, Pontius Pilate, privately in person, did not leave us any single contemporary evidence that would undoubtedly confirm his historicity. Are you kidding me? Almost 15 historians during the presumed lifetime of Papa Jesus, or a few years after his death, have failed to mention Papa Jesus and his cult of Christianity. Next. Yan. Philo of Alexandria, Jewish philosopher, historian of ancient Judea, who wrote more than 40 books and lived during the very period Papa Jesus had lived, did not mention anything about Papa Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. Seneca the Younger, a Roman philosopher, statesman, religious commentator who talks about crucifixion more than anyone else in ancient history, had failed to mention his greatest example. He did not mention anything about Papa Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. Pliny the Elder, a Roman author, army commander of the Roman Empire. He wrote extensively about Jewish culture, tradition, and practices. During his lifetime, he would have access to Roman sources, reporting unusual events in Judea. He did not mention anything about Papa Jesus. He did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. So as the rival historian of Josephus, Justus of Tiberias, a Jewish historian from Galilee itself, the very region where Jesus supposedly preached, performed miracles, healed the sick, and gathered disciples, also suspiciously failed to mention Papa Jesus and Christianity at all. Next. Alright, we also have King Juba, Paterculus, Pampila, Bassus, Rufus, Petronius, Fabius Rusticus, Vespasian, Titus, and Valerius Maximus. They did not mention anything about Papa Jesus. They did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. Next. Okay. Oh, go back. Not to mention that the earliest... No, go back to the Spider-Man. Okay. Not to mention that the earliest archaeological artifact Christian wants to use in support of historical Jesus is dated to about 150 years after the supposed lifetime of Papa Jesus. This artifact, known as Alexamenos Graffito, portrayed Papa Jesus as what? A crucified donkey man. I think it's Stan Lee, the creator of Spider-Man, should be informed. Next. Alright, would you not be amazed and begin to wonder if Sir Gilbert, the greatest historian of World War II, had never mentioned H or his NZ, either H and NC were insignificant or they did not exist at all. Next. But let's pause for a second. Go back to Mancanor. But let's pause for a second and clarify one thing. I'm not saying that just because someone lacks contemporary evidence, they did not exist. Of course, if Papa Jesus were just an ordinary farmer, why would I even demand contemporary evidence? Almost all peasants who lived in the 1st century AD left no trace at all. Unfortunately, we're not just talking about Mancanor. We're talking about Papa Jesus of Nazareth. Next. Sir Ruel, in his recent year-end TikTok post with tragically only one like, has the hyper audacity to say that historians do not use mathematical methods in proving history. I called him out on the comment section. He was unfortunately uneducated about Bayesian theorem. Next. Next. Yeah, there you go. All right. The good thing about Bayes' theorem is that it's evidence-based. When new evidence emerges, the probability updates either for or against the subject. Bayes' theorem has already proven its reliability when the Allies used it to crack enemy codes during World War II. Next. All right, in his 2014 peer-reviewed book on the historicity of Jesus, mind you, this is a peer-reviewed book, Dr. Carrier used Bayes' theorem to arrive at the probability that there was not a historical Jesus. The result is 1:3, or in layman's term, 30 to 33%. Next. The probability percentage is so low that historical Jesus can be tied and equated with Socrates. Even today, Greek historians doubt the existence of Socrates. He might have been a creation of Plato, just like how historical Papa Jesus was the creation of New Testament authors. Next. The harsh reality for Christian apologists is that there's no evidence supporting Papa Jesus' historicity. Excavations for decades continue, yet no new findings have appeared. Next. This made Seba Crook, an expert in New Testament studies, concluded the quest for the historical Jesus has failed, and we now find ourselves in a period of no quest. In short, game over. Next. So where does Ceruel get his arrogance to proclaim Jesus as a proven historical figure? Well, confidence and arrogance does not equate to being true. Next. Like wannabe Christian historian, Ceruel loves to hide behind his imaginary consensus. He's parroting the same phrase that apologists have been using for decades. Most scholars agree Papa Jesus exists, therefore Jesus exists. This reasoning is satanically laughable, definitely a fallacious appeal to the majority. Biblical studies are dominated by Christian scholars. Of course, we should expect that consensus would favor Jesus' historicity. Appealing to consensus is the laziest argument you'll ever hear from this wannabe historian. Next. This misinformation originated from the 2005 study of Daddy Gary Habermas. Daddy Gary argued that minimal facts are agreed upon by the majority of scholars. Ceruel repeatedly relies on Daddy Gary's imaginary consensus. Next. As the website Bursten points out, Gary Habermas never released his data despite repeated requests. In his 2005 study, he vaguely claims to have surveyed more than 1,400 sources, spread it over 30 years, and that's about 47 studies per year, a number that is shockingly shallow for biblical studies. Next. Another open access article entitled Innumeracy, a Fault Fix echoes the same criticism. Habermas even counted non-expert in his survey. Some of the names he included are not even qualified to make independent historical judgment. Mantakin mo, pati si Richard Swinburne, kasama sa imaginary consensus ni Habermas, not a trained historian, not a Greek literate. Guess what? A philosopher from Oxford. Now we know why Daddy Gary refuses to release the data and how he fabricated this so-called consensus that Ceruel relies on. Let's do History 101. Next. Historians use various criteria of authenticity to argue for Papa Jesus' historicity. We will focus on the two most commonly cited by apologists. First criteria, multiple attestation. The more independent references to an event, the more likely it happened. My opponent cannot simply appeal to the four Gospels as evidence for historical Jesus for plenty of reasons. Next. First, the Gospels are undeniably anonymous, full stop. Anyone who says that they are not is either Googling on Christian.com website or followers of the cult of Ron Wyatt. We do not know who wrote them. In fact, the first person to explicitly name the Gospels was Church Father Irenaeus around 185 AD, after decades of circulation. Irenaeus said in his book Against the Heresies that because there are four corners of the world, there must also be four writers of the Gospel. What kind of reasoning is this? Next. Next. More importantly, our earliest surviving gospel manuscripts such as Papyrus 1 and Papyrus 75 contains no title at all. They do not say gospel according to, or in Greek, euangelion kata. The name came later and the text came first. So why am I using the gospel? Because as you can see, in the opening statement of Ceruel, nag-rely siya sa mga stories na nasa gospel. Right? Yung kwento ng mga disipulo na takot. So, I have to show you that the Gospels are not reliable kasi doon naka-base yung presentation ni Ceruel sa mga stories, mga narrative, like empty tomb, yung takot ng mga disciples, etc. Next. The second, the Gospels are clearly reliant on each other, which invalidates them to become independent sources. As you know, Mark was first dated around 70 AD, 40 years after the supposed lifetime of Jesus, followed by Matthew, and then Luke, and then John. John is too late to be relevant in the discussion. Next. I go back, sorry, go back. Yeah, if you don't know yet, you have to know. Matthew and Luke plagiarized the Gospel of Mark to create their own narrative, almost 90% was copied by Matthew from Mark, around 661 verses, while Luke copied 50 to 60% from Mark, around 300 to 400 verses. Next. AKA nagkopyahan lang sila. Next. Okay. Some examples are the story of healing of go back. Some examples are the story of healing of the paralytic, feeding of the 5,000, and the passion narrative. So in the criteria of multiple attestation, Gospels are not qualified because they are not truly independent with each other. They are freaking anonymous. Next. Third, the Gospels are entirely fabricated, excluding the historical figure and places that are mentioned. Let's do this with Did You Know portion. Next. Next. Okay, go back. I think there's some problem with the slide because it's always advanced. Go back. Okay, did you know that the author of Matthew invented the massacre of the infants to force Jesus into Egypt so he can quote Hosea 11:1? Out of Egypt I called my son. The author wants to express a theological point, not a historical one. Matthew is clearly presenting Jesus as the new Moses. Next. 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 What's happening with my presentation? Anyway, can you go back? Oh, anyway, I think my presentation is messed up now. Ako yata yung lag, no? Anyway, okay, continue na lang tayo. Did you know that Luke invented the census story so that Joseph and Mary need to go to Bethlehem in order to fulfill somehow the prophecy in the Old Testament that the Messiah would come from King David's line, and King David, as we know, is from Bethlehem. Did you know that John changed the timeline of the crucifixion so that Jesus dies at the exact moment of the Passover, as the Passover lambs are being slaughtered, portraying Jesus as the ultimate sacrificial lamb? Did you know that the Barabbas in Jesus' scene is also a fiction? It was derived from the Yom Kippur scapegoat ritual tradition of the Jews. One goat is killed and the other one is released into the wilderness. Jesus becomes the sacrifice one, Barabbas walks free, and don't forget that Barabbas means son of the Father, which is what Jesus claimed to be, suggesting that the story is a fabrication. My opponent cannot also appeal to the letters of Paul, for again, plenty of reason. Even Mr. Bart Ehrman himself conceded that the Apostle Paul talks little about historical Jesus. Paul did not meet historical Jesus in person. He claimed to have a spiritual revelation. Paul did not even mention the empty tomb, which is for Zerubbabel one of the greatest minimal facts. It's also a bit weird that Paul was not aware about the second greatest commandment of Jesus, love your enemies. So, Paul never mentioned Nazareth, Galilee, Bethlehem. Paul never mentioned Mary or Joseph. Paul never mentioned Pilate's trial. Paul never mentioned miracles and exorcism, parables, and sermons of Jesus. This show that Paul was truly uninformed about the life and deeds of historical Jesus, and therefore cannot serve as a reliable basis for establishing Jesus' historicity. In fact, a growing number of scholars are challenging the mainstream view that Paul ever existed. In her 2025 peer-reviewed book published by Cambridge University, Nina Livesey argued that the existence of historical Paul and the authenticity of his letters are largely taken for granted. She dates the Pauline letters to around 140 AD. This aligned with the research of Jaron Wingo and Matthew Britt presented in their recent book, Christ Before Jesus, which concludes that Paul did not exist, and so that the so-called Pauline letters were actually written by Marcion himself around 140 AD. They are not the first one to make such claims. Thomas Brody, a biblical scholar and a former Dominican priest who was expelled from his religious order for concluding that both Jesus and Paul are fictional. This made me remember when the early church father Tertullian famously asked Marcion for the origin of Paul, demanding proof of false authenticity. Second criteria is the criteria of embarrassment. First, this criteria is pure BS for the fact that Christianity is a religion that does not reward heroes but the poor and oppressed. What is embarrassing for others might be a literary device for the gospel writer. Second, given the diversity of Jewish religion and early Christianity, it cannot be assumed that the gospel authors would find the event or teaching in question to be embarrassing. As New Testament scholar Stanley Porter explained, it is very difficult to determine what early Christians would have found embarrassing given the lack of detailed evidence about the views of the early church. As you can see, the criteria for Jesus' historicity are often not met, are riddled with loopholes, as religious historian Dr. Rafael Lataster, author of the peer-reviewed Questioning the Historicity of Jesus, bluntly puts it, there is no good reason to believe Jesus existed. The case for historicity is based largely on assumption and circular reasoning, tulad ng ginawa ni Sir Ruel sa kanyang opening statement. Time.
Okay. Again, good evening to all of you. So, thank you, Mr. Ilu, for presenting your own presentation where it seems mukhang matalino at first place, but let us see. Did he really debunk the entire case that I gave? Short answer, no. Ilu did not debunk the historical Jesus. Ang ginawa lamang niya dito was the following: change the rules of history, move the goalpost, and confuse his skepticism with scholarship. Paano? Point 1. Kinote niya si Richard Carrier on the quotation like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But guys, ang fallacy dyan, category confusion. Bakit? The claim Jesus existed is not extraordinary. Alam niyo kung anong extraordinary? Yung resurrection, hindi yung existence. Kumbaga, hindi mo pwedeng i-apply ang standard ng resurrection sa existence dito. Kung ganito ang logic ng ating kaibigan dyan, then si Alexander the Great, extraordinary. Yung extraordinary, bakit? He conquered the world at 30. How about Buddha? Extraordinary, bakit? Nag-claim na nagkaroon ng enlightenment claims. But there's no, pero walang historian na humihingi ng extraordinary evidence para sa existence, so category error po yun. Point 2, silence of contemporary evidence na nabanggit, and I expected na i-mention niya yan sa debate na ito. Pero fallacy po yun na tinatawag na argument from silence. Key historical rule, mga kapatid, silence only counts if the author should have mentioned the subject. Let's apply it. Philo of Alexandria, philosopher, not historian, never mentions Christians. Seneca, Stoic ethicist, never mentioned Jews either. Pliny the Elder, natural science encyclopedia naman yung sa kanya. Hindi checklist ang history and hindi ka binanggit ni Philo, so peke ka. So by that logic, si Hannibal maging peke, si Spartacus maging peke, at si Pontius Pilate maging peke. Kasi na-mention lamang siya once archaeologically. So silence is not non-existence. Third, tungkol sa 50 ancient historians na nag-fail daw na i-mention si Jesus, that's a fabricated expectation. Bakit? Sa first century kasi, 99.9% ng mga tao noon were never mentioned. Peasant Jews in provinces were invisible, and Rome did not document and executed criminals unless politically relevant. Concerning to Jesus Christ, siya po ay Jewish teacher sa isang probinsya at pinatay bilang kriminal. Hindi siya great man sa mata ng Roma hanggang dumating yung punto na lumaganap ang Christianity noon. Point 4. Sabi niya, Roman Empire never mentions Jesus. But that's a factual error. Ang totoo, they did. Who are they? Tacitus. Nasabi niya yung tungkol sa execution kay Christ under Pontius Pilate. Pliny the Younger. Bakit hindi niya na-mention si Pliny the Younger? Di ba? Nabanggit niya si Pliny the Elder. Bakit hindi si Pliny the Younger? Pliny the Younger has a statement concerning Christians worshiping Jesus as God. Lucian of Samosata tinukoy si Christ bilang crucified sage. And Maramar Serapion concerning Jesus as wise king executed. Mga kaaway ng Christianity. Hindi yan Christian propaganda. Enemy testimony is a gold standard in history. Point 5, as I expected, he will mention again this kind of objection. Gospels are anonymous, therefore use this niya. But that's di po been false na. Karamihan sa mga ancient biographies are histories, Greco-Roman works. Ang tanong po dyan ng mga historiador ay ito. Are the sources early, multiple, and independent? Another point, sabi niya, Gospels were too late, tapos nag-quote ang 7200 AD. Pero anachronism naman yun eh. Bakit? Sa yung 40 years na yan, early pa yan in ancient history. Ikumpara mo kay Alexander, yung sources 300 to 400 years later. Kay Socrates, Plato wrote decades later. Buddha, centuries later. So kung late ang 40 years then, burahin na natin ang kalahati ng ancient history books. Now, inakusahan pa nito yung gospel accounts as plagiarism na Matthew uses Mark, blah 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 blah. But that's what we call non-sequitur. Literary dependence is not fabrication. If multiple biographies use same events and same timeline, corroboration pong tawag dyan, hindi po conspiracy. So, for example, kung 4 na journalist ang nag-cover ng isang rally, tapos parehong sinasabi, fake na agad. Hindi po. Mas lalo pa nga po itong pinapatibay. Isa pa sa claim niya ay invalid daw ang criteria of embarrassment. Pero hindi po ba natin alam, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, ginamit po ito kahit ng mga hindi po Kristiyano na mga eksperto. E.P. Sanders, John Mayer, Dale Allison, even Bart Ehrman. Mainstream historical tool yan, mga kapatid. Also, Paul never met Jesus, never mentions empty tomb. But that's, excuse me, yung claim na yun, factual error plus strawman yan. If we really read the letters of the Apostle Paul, we will find out that in Galatians 4:4, Jesus was born. In 1 Corinthians 2, Jesus was crucified. 1 Corinthians 15:3-4, Jesus was buried, and on the third day he rose again. And in Galatians 1:19, Jesus had brother named James. So hindi dahil ba hindi binanggit ang empty tomb, ibig sabihin walang kaalam-alam sa Apostle Paul? Paul assumes his audience already knows it. Also, binanggit yung tungkol dun sa argument ni Thomas Brody na Paul never existed. But this view is rejected by 99% of scholars, unsupported by evidence, self-refuting. By the way, sasabihin ko po sa inyo ngayon pa lang, hindi lahat ang may PhD tama. Mainstream ba yung o fringe? Yan ang tanong. Also, nabanggit din naman yung Bayesian theorem. Yan yung tinutukoy doon sa sinasabing math, so to speak, di ba? Kaso nga lang, misused mathematics po yan. Bayes' theorem is only as good as prior assumptions and probability assignments. Richard Carrier assigns low priors by assumption and yes, circular reasoning. So, guys, hindi mo masosolve ang kasaysayan na parang algebra. At saka, tungkol sa consensus, as I expected, consensus is imaginary, Christian bias, you name it. Pero parang istilong conspiracy thinking yan. Bakit? Kasi guys, kung conspiracy yan, bakit may mga nag-agree na mga hindi Kristiyano? By the way, hindi lamang si Ehrman ang tinutukoy natin yan. Si Burmese, Jewish yan. Si E.P. Sanders, agnostic. Si Meyer, Katoliko pero critical. So, you see guys, kung makikita natin lahat ng kanyang mga claim, I don't think our friend really debunked the case that I made here. So, My friends, to ask the question again, did Ilu really debunk the case for historical Jesus? Did he really debunk the presentation that I gave to you? Short answer, no. Ang kanyang mga ginawa, he changed historical slides, he demanded impossible evidence, he misused silence, he quoted fringe over mainstream, and confused skepticism with scholarship. Mga kapatid, you don't reject history by mocking it. You don't refute evidence by demanding CCTV footage or whatever it is. And you don't win a certain discussions or whatsoever by redefining the rules after evidence is presented. Mga kapatid, still, nagstand pa rin ang evidence for the historical Jesus. The real question is not only about if he really exists. The real question, if Jesus really existed, what will you do? What will you do with him? It is not just some sort of anything at all of that, no? But if Jesus really exists, if he really rise from the dead, ano ang gagawin sa katotohanan yan? So that will be all, and good day. Maraming salamat. Jesus is Lord. He existed. Magandang gabi.
Sa kanya kanina sa opening statement na hindi nga pwedeng pagkatiwalaan ang gospel. Unang-una, anonymous ang gospel. Hindi natin alam kung sino yung sumulat sa mga gospels. And at the same time, nagkopyahan lang sila. Even Bart Ehrman himself, which is patuloy pa rin kinukot ni Sir Ruel, agreed na yun nga yung case na nagkopyahan lang si Mark yung naisulat ng una, and then si Matthew and Luke, kumopya lang sila kay Mark. So paano magiging independent eyewitnesses itong mga author na to? Nagkopyahan lang sila. Yung analogy niya kanina ng 4 na journalist is extremely false. Bakit? Kasi yung 4 na journalist na yon, sinulat nila at the same time yung account nila. When in fact, kapag tiningnan mo yung dating ng mga Gospels, Mark was written 70 AD, Matthew was written 80, Luke was written somewhere around 90, and then John. So, ibig sabihin, they are completely separated by decades. So, it's a false analogy. hindi tama yung analogy na ginamit kanina ni Sir Ruel. So binanggit ni Sir Ruel kanina yung first, for if Christ has not been raised. Sir Ruel confidently quoted 1 Corinthians 15:17, for if Christ has not been raised daw. First of all, Paul is just communicating a theological claim, not historical evidence. Paul himself did not mention anything about the life of historical Jesus, kung ano yung mga miracles na pinagagawa niya, kung saan siya pinanganak, kung sino yung tatay at nanay niya. You cannot get historical Jesus from Paul. Ang daming mga account ng dying and rising gods and goddesses outside the Christian faith, tulad ni Inanna and Baal. But no one argues that they are historical. Kasi we can use the same phrasing, for if Christ has not been raised, therefore, historical Jesus is true. We can say the same thing for Inanna. For Inanna has not been raised, then Sumerian beliefs are true, are in vain. Matuto tayong i-separate ang evidence sa claim. So, wasak, refuted, and debunked si Sir Ruel. Kinote ni Sir Ruel kanina na hindi daw ginagawang eyewitness yung mga babae sa 1st century AD. That's completely demonstrably false. Pinapalabas ni Sir Ruel na undeniable fact ang empty tomb, like undeniable mathematical fact na 1 + 1 = 2. First of all, paano magiging reliable ang empty tomb story kung contradicting na agad yung stories? Ang sabi ni Mark, may 3 babae nakakita sa empty tomb, tapos nakita nila young man. Sabi naman ni Luke, grupo ng mga kababaihan including Joanna, and they saw not 1 but 2 men. Ang sabi naman ni Matthew, 2 babae, while John says Mary Magdalene alone. So sino yung tama sa kanilang 4? Diba? Now, let's talk about dun sa sinasabi ni Sir Ruel about dun sa babae, hindi daw ginagawang eyewitness or hindi daw credible yung mga babae. Well, you have to understand na marami tayong example sa 1st century AD kung saan ginagawang witness ang babae. Like testifying on someone's death. Nakasulat yan sa Mishnah collection, sa Mishnah Yevamot 16.7 at Mishnah Rosh Hoshana 1.8 ng Jewish law. So pinarot lamang, nirepeat lang ni Sir Rowell yung mga misinformation na nakuha niya sa mga Christian apologists and then idinakdak niya dito. So kaya wasak at debunk na naman si Sir Rowell. You cannot compare yung historical Jesus kay Alexander the Great. Pinarot na naman ni Sir Rowell ang common objection na ang biography ni Alexander the Great ay sinulat ni Plutarch and Arrian 400 years after his death. Hindi mo pwede i-compare ang biography ni Alexander the Great sa mga fabricated stories sa Gospel. First of all, pinapangalanan ni na Arrian and Plutarch yung kanilang primary sources regarding sa historicity ni Alexander the Great, katulad ni Ptolemy, which is hindi mo makikita sa Gospel. Wala kang makikita sa Gospel na may pinangalanan silang primary sources. Ang sabi lang sa Gospel of John 21:24, ito yung disciple who testify to these things and who wrote them down. We know that his testimony is true. Anong klaseng ano yan? Anong klaseng praising yan? A claim backed up by another claim? Meron tayong stela of Alexander the Great in Egypt dated around his lifetime, to which Jesus do not have. Meron din tayong statua ni Alexander, to which Jesus again do not have. Meron din tayong speeches of Isocrates, Demosthenes, Aeschines, Dinarchus, Theocritus, Theius Pastrus, to all contemporaries, to which Jesus do not have. Even yung military campaign ni Alexander the Great, the way Arrian and Plutarch describe them, ay na-verify natin archaeologically, tulad ng mga ruins sa Tyre, sa Gaza, Persepolis, Bactria, now Afghanistan. So wasak, refuted, and debunked na naman si Sir Rowell. Ginamit ni Sir Rowell yung Tacitus. Hindi niya in-explain, sinabi niya lang, nakasulat kay Tacitus, nakasulat kay Josephus. Let's talk about Tacitus. So, you have to understand, Sir Rowell, na hindi reliable na historian si Tacitus. Ano sabi ni Tacitus kay Pontius Pilate? Procurator si Pontius Pilate. When in fact, si Pontius Pilate is a prefect in Judea. Magkaiba ang procurator at prefect. Nagpapatunay lang to na si Tacitus wala siyang access sa Roman records. Kasi bakit siya magkakamali sa posisyon ni Pontius Pilate bilang procurator? Prefect naman ng Judea si Pontius Pilate. And at the same time, the same Tacitus, ang sabi ni Tacitus, si Emperor Vespasian daw ay nakakapagpagaling ng mga bulag sa tulong daw ng god na si Serapis. Okay? At ang sabi din ni Tacitus, the same Tacitus, ang nag-claim na meron daw phoenix na bumisita sa Egypt. Do you think historically reliable si Tacitus mentioning those things? At ano pang nakalagay doon kapag binasa yung anal? Pag binasa yung anal ni Tacitus, makikita nyo na pinalitan, ang nakasulat kasi doon sa original na manuscript, Christians, na makikita natin na ang ginawa ng mga Christian scribes, that pinalitan nila yung E sa I. Ginawa nilang Christians. Bakit? Para yung masuportahan nila yung historicity ng fictional Jesus. Ang problema, ang Christians is, ang ibig sabihin nun, good, useful, well, yung Christ means Messiah. So, Tacitus could be referring to another Jewish group na sa Rome, led by Christus and not necessarily Christian. So, debunk na naman, wasak na naman si Sir Rowell. Ano pa bang binanggit ni Sir Rowell? So, yeah. Let's see. Ayun, so ang nangyari lang sa rebuttal ni Sir Rowell, sabi ni Tacitus, sabi ni Josephus, ganito. Sabi ni ganyan, ganito. Diba? So, hindi niya in-explain kung bakit anong yung nakalagay doon sa sulat ni Josephus, anong nakalagay doon sa sulat ni Tacitus, etc. All of those things. Ang sabi kanina ni Sir Rowell sa kanyang opening statement, nakakatawa. Kaya sabi niya, nakita natin kasi na merong Nazareth, nakita din natin na merong Pontius Pilate, yung Pilate stone na discover natin. Therefore, it support the historicity of Jesus. So, Sir Rowell, would you agree, Sir Rowell, na since na-discover natin yung location ng Troy, which is nasa Turkey, therefore, tunay na si Achilles, therefore, tunay na si Zeus, therefore, tunay na sina Athena? since na-mention sila during the Trojan War? Anong sagot mo doon? Diba? Maniniwala ka ba na nag-exist historically maniniwala ka ba na historical ang Epic of Gilgamesh since na-discover natin yung Library of Uruk sa Mesopotamia na setting ng story ng Epic of Gilgamesh? Do you think Epic of Gilgamesh is historically true dahil na-mention yung library, yung Uruk, which is na-discover natin yung Uruk? Diba? So kung makikita natin na at saka may sinabi si Sir Ruel kanina, sabi niya si Pontius Pilate na-mention lang siya through archaeology. Nope. Meron tayong contemporary historian na tumutukoy kay Pontius Pilate. In fact, taliwas nga kasi sa sulat ni Josephus, si Pontius Pilate ay na-mention niya si Pontius Pilate sa sulat ni Josephus sa Antiquities of the Jews. And sinabi ni Josephus doon na masama yung ugali ni Pontius Pilate. Taliwas ito sa forgiving or like sa humble na Pontius Pilate na pinortray sa Biblia. So again, wasak, debunk, refuted si Sir Ruel. Diba? At yung nilatag niya kanina na criteria of embarrassment na yung mga Hudyo, hindi nila to sasabihin kasi embarrassing to sa kanila. So, would you consider na historical din si Inanna? Kasi si Inanna, yung kwento, hinubaran, isinabit sa hook as if some kind of crucifixion. Kasi kung gagamitin yung same logic mo, if talagang hindi nag-e-exist si Inanna, bakit yung mga followers ng cult of Inanna ay ipoportray si Inanna in a very shameful way? The same goes for Romulus na founder ng Roman Empire. Pinatay si Romulus ng kanyang sariling tao. Ang kanyang katawan ay pinagpira-piraso pero still siya ay kinalalang cultural hero at founder ng Rome. Pwede ko rin bang sabihin na if hindi totoo ang story ni Romulus, bakit ipoportray ng mga early Romans ang kanilang founder in this way? Which is very shameful for a cultural hero. Dagdag pa natin na ang mga Romans, full of pride sila and dignity. So if Sir Ruel still insists the criteria of embarrassment, would Sir Ruel ever accept that the account of young Jesus cursing and killing a child in the infancy gospel of Thomas is true? Since it is gruesomely embarrassing. Diba? Hindi niya i-accept yun. So again, napakita natin, nag-debunk natin lahat ng mga ilatad niya sa opening statement. And actually, I'm definitely looking for more. Sana binanggit niya in a detailed way yung mga sulat ni Josephus, Tacitus, etc. So we can talk about that. But again, pinarot niya lang yung mga sinasabi ng mga biblical scholar. Sinabi kasi ni Bart Ehrman Josephus, sinabi kasi ni ganito Tacitus, sinabi kasi Suetonius, si Lucian of Samosata. Therefore. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Wait lang, boss. Para sa yan, okay na. Start na po.
Okay na po.
Yes po, start na po.
Okay, sige. Elon dito? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, sige.
Hello, tayo yung
narinig na. Okay, sige. So ngayon, let's go for the questions now. Do historians determine ancient history using absolute certainty or probability based on evidence? Yes or no?
Definitely, Parang, ano naging yes or no yun?
Ay, ulitin ko. Sorry for that. Ulitin ko. Do historians determine ancient history using absolute certainty or probability based on evidence?
Okay, sagutin ko muna yan. So, definitely, historians are always works with probability. Kaya nga nilatag ko kanina yung Bayesian theorem na unfortunately, you don't know because you're clearly lacking of the education to know na merong mathematical method na ginagamit ang mga historian to conclude or to have a probabilistic conclusion regarding sa history.
Time.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Agree ka ba na history is not science and therefore does not require contemporary DNA, CCTV, or birth certificates?
Agree ako na history is not science, but history itself
Hello?
use scientific method in order
Ako yatang nawala.
to know kung ano talaga ay yung probable na nangyari thousands of years ago. Ayun.
Pause time. Debaters, okay lang ba yung mga net ninyo?
Ako hindi ko narinig yung remaining na answer ni Ilo kanina.
Ay,
Yeah.
paparepeat while naka-pause yun ba? Okay ka lang King of Logic, hindi ka nagalag.
Sige.
Hindi ako nag-alag, si Sir Ruel lang. Yeah.
Okay. Well, pause time tapos resume time natin after pag next question na. Ano pa ulit ng question, Sir Ruel, tapos King of Logic pasagot din.
Okay. Sige. Agree ka ba na history is not hindi ito ba yung tanong ko kanina, di ba? Ulitin ko na lang, sorry. Agree ka ba na history is not science and therefore does not require contemporary DNA, CCTV, or birth certificates?
Okay, ulitin ko yung sagot ko kanina. Okay? Yes, agree ako na history is not science. Pero gumagamit ang history ng scientific analysis such as radiocarbon dating para magkaroon ng probabilistic conclusion sa isang object or sa isang event.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next.
You're welcome.
Next, tama ba? Okay. Question. Tama ba na sa kasaysayan, ang tanong ay best explanation based on available evidence, hindi perfect or absolute certainty?
Definitely based on available evidence. But when it comes to Jesus' historicity, wala tayong base available evidence because the evidence is lacking, not contemporary and contradictory, as Richard Carrier explained.
Okay, salamat. Next question.
Thank you.
Can you-
You're welcome.
Okay, can you name any first century, let's go to the contemporary evidence, no? So, can you name any first century peasant Jew with contemporary Roman birth or execution records?
I cannot name any. Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
I cannot name any because I cannot name any contemporary Jew na peasant na mayroong mga contemporary evidence, but we have to understand na if gagawin mo siyang ruta papunta sa Jesus historicity, sablay. Kasi si Jesus ay isang popular na tao the way Gospels
Next
portray
question.
Jesus.
Okay, so ngayon ang follow-up question ko ukol dito. So kung wala, bakit si Jesus lang ang hinihingan natin ng standard na wala sa iba?
Definitely, kasi unang-una, merong assumption sa scholarship katulad mo, sobrang certain ka na Jesus exists. And the way Gospels portray Jesus, hindi siya ordinary. Nakausap niya yung prefect of Judea, which is Pontius Pilate, pinako siya ng mga Roman, etc. And nagpe-perform siya ng
Next
public
question.
miracles. Go ahead.
Okay, salamat. Now, next question. Do you agree that most ancient figures lack contemporary documentation?
I do agree, but it depends. Kapag ang pinag-uusapan natin ay hindi popular, definitely, almost certainly na wala silang contemporary evidence. But when we're talking about historical figure na famous, definitely dapat lang may makikita tayong contemporary evidence.
Next question.
Okay, so yung mga nasabi kanina, nabanggit na kanina dun sa question ko. So itong follow-up ko. Bakit absence of contemporary evidence disprove lang kay Jesus?
Hindi ko sinasabing disprove lang kay Jesus yung lacking of contemporary evidence. It can be used also. Kaya 'di ba sinabi ko sa opening statement ko na yung existence ni Jesus parang existence ni Socrates, na hanggang ngayon yung mga Greek historians di na-doubt yung existence ni Socrates kasi lacking ng contemporary
Next question.
evidence. So hindi ako biased kay Jesus.
Next question.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Tungkol sa argument from silence issue, I don't know kung ako yung nagbanggit or what, but anyway, does silence only count as evidence if the author should have mentioned the subject?
Pass, confusing yung question.
Okay, sige. No worries about that. Next question. Do you agree that Seneca, Pliny the Elder, and Philo of Alexandria never mention Christians either?
I agree, definitely. Seneca, Philo of Alexandria did not mention anything about Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity.
So, are you saying Christianity did not exist in the first century?
I'm not. Definitely, they are not. They don't exist in first century. There is a growing scholarship in New Testament studies na nagpapakita na ang Christianity ay second century. The first mention of Christianity is mentioned by Pliny the Younger, 110 AD. So second century, early second century ang Christianity.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, next question will be this one about gospels and anonymity na siyang inargue mo kanina. So, question. Anonymous ba ang lahat ng ancient biographies invalid by default?
Pass, kasi tinatanong niya lahat daw. So, sobrang far-fetched na to sa topic namin.
Okay, sige. Next question. Do you agree that anonymous sources can still preserve early traditions?
No, I don't agree.
Okay. If
Mapera na lang
no,
kung back up siya by evidence. By primary
okay,
sources.
sige, thank you. If no, please explain oral tradition in Jewish culture.
Pass, kasi hindi naman topic namin dito yung oral tradition ng mga Hudyo. So, ang pinag-uusapan namin dito ay evidence for Jesus' historicity and not the oral tradition ng mga Hudyo.
Okay, sige. Concerning multiple attestation, do you deny that Paul, Mark, Q, Material, John, Tacitus, and Josephus and others are independent sources?
I deny that they talk about historical Jesus. That's what I deny.
Okay.
They don't even talk about historical Jesus at all.
Okay, good. So now, if you deny independence, I'm talking about multiple attestation, no? So can you demonstrate direct literary dependence between Paul and Tacitus?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Pass, kasi magulo yung question.
Okay, ulitin ko. So, so if you, kasi sabi mo, you deny that Paul, Mark, Q Material, and others are independent sources. Pasensya na po sa motor. So, ngayon, if you deny it, then can you demonstrate direct literary dependence between Paul and Tacitus?
Okay, so when I say I deny yung pagiging independent nila, kasi makikita natin na they don't talk about Jesus at all. Yun yung explanation ko, they don't talk about historical Jesus at all. So that's why I said na hindi sila independent sources for establishing Jesus historicity.
Next na. Sorry.
Okay. Concerning women as witnesses, no? Do you agree that women's testimony had limited legal weight in first century Judaism?
Definitely, ang sabi sa account ni Josephus na yung mga babae hindi daw ginagawang hindi daw ginagamit sa korte bilang testimony. But at the same time, you have to understand na meron tayong mababasa sa Mishnah na nakalagay doon na sometimes ginagamit yung mga babae to prove yung certain event.
Next question.
Okay. Next next question concerning Tacitus and Roman sources, no? Do you accept Tacitus as reliable for Roman history in general?
No, I don't. Definitely I don't.
Next question na.
Okay. Now, can you cite any Roman okay na po. Okay. Can
Naglalag
you
ka, Sir
cite any
Roel.
Roman historian who calls Tacitus... Ay, sorry. Hello?
Pause time. Hello, Sir Ruel. Okay ka lang? Hanap ka please, Sir Ruel, kung saan kung saan wala kasi signal. Para tuloy-tuloy yung
Andito na ba? Okay na.
Delay pa ba, Sir Ruel?
Hello? Hindi. Narinig ko na.
Ayan. Continue with your question, resume time.
Okay, sige. Okay, thank you. Ngayon, can you cite any Roman historian who calls Tacitus unreliable?
Definitely, marami tayong Roman historian in this today's history na sinasabi na unreliable si Tacitus. Nag-e-echo?
Time pause. Wait lang. Sir Ruel, nag-e-echo sa
Nag-e-echo.
side mo.
Marinig yung sagot.
Ayan. Ilu, pa-repeat nung answer mo. Tapos,
Okay,
tapusin lang yung time dito ng 20 seconds. Tapos, resume time na rin, Dog, pag nag-next question na.
Definitely, ang sabi ko definitely, ang daming mga Roman historian, hindi mabibilang sa daliri ang nagsasabi na si Tacitus ay unreliable tulad ni Richard Carrier, mga modern historian from today's time. Kasi ang tanong lang naman kung meron ba daw Roman historian na nagsasabi na hindi reliable si Tacitus.
Time. Resume time, tapos next question, Sir Ruel.
Okay. So next, do you agree that consensus does not create truth but reflects conclusions from evidence?
I don't agree with both.
Then, why?
Because pagdating sa historicity ni Jesus, just what I explained kanina sa opening statement ko, dominated ng mga Christian scholar yung field ng biblical study. So technically, yung consensus would favor Jesus' historicity.
Next question.
Okay, last question na lang. If multiple early sources, hostile testimony, embarrassment, contextual fit are insufficient for Jesus, then what historical figure from antiquity survives your standards?
Maraming mga historian, mga ancient figures sa history na we can definitely compare with Jesus' historicity, such as Suetonius, Plutarch, Arrian, etc.
Okay. Proceed naman tayo. We start when you begin to speak.
Okay, perfect. So, ito, tanong ko kay Sir Roel. Sir Roel, no? Dahil ba minority ang mythicism sa study or sa field, therefore malina?
Okay, to answer the question, actually kung tingnan natin, yes, for me, no? Kasi kung titingnan natin talaga yan, no? Being a minority does not make whatsoever, pakiulit nga. Being minority, pakiulit yung tanong, pasensya na. Sorry po.
Pause time.
Okay, so ang question ko sa'yo, dahil ba sa minority ang mythicism, therefore malina?
Okay. So, masasabi ko lang, I think it's a yes for me. But here's the point kasi, mythicism is not rejected because it's minority lang naman. Although, sabi ko na, yes na yan. But all I can say, it fails to explain the evidence. Lalo pag early
Next
sources.
question. Resume time.
Okay, ito na lang. Dito ko dadalhin sa contemporary evidence. If hindi ka agree, ano yung contemporary evidence na we can date back to Jesus' preaching lifetime?
contemporary evidence. Okay, sige.
Hello?
Hello. Narinig ba ako? Hello?
Hindi kita
Post time,
narinig.
post time.
Yeah, may tanong ako sa'yo.
Okay, both debater, please, last na to. Hanap kayo ng magandang room or magandang place kung saan mabilis ang both signal ninyo para smooth yung palitan ninyo ng kanya-kanyang idea at opinion. Okay na ba, Sir
Okay na po.
Ruel?
Yes po.
Okay. Repeat the question, Ilu, and then answer muna, Sir Ruel, tapos resume time tayo.
May red doors po, kuya.
Okay na po.
Okay.
Pakiulit po.
Repeat the question, Ilu.
Ako ba yung lag or si Sir Rowell?
Sir Ruel.
Ako ba yun? O, sige.
Si Sir Rowell. Okay, ito yung question, no? Ano yung contemporary evidence na we can date back to Jesus' presumed lifetime?
Okay. Wala tayong surviving written document na ginawa mismo nung buhay pa si Jesus. Pero ito yung mahalaga, no? Normal ito sa ancient history at hindi nito dinidisprove ang kanyang existence. Linawin ko lang po, we are talking about early near contemporary sources written within living memory of the disciples. So, syempre, yan na. Pre-Pauline
Next
Creed
question.
and Jerusalem. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, paborito mong banggitin yung pre-Pauline Creed na yon na nakasulat sa 1 Corinthians. Can you demonstrate to me kung paano nila dinate yung creed na yon? Paano sila nag-arrive sa dating ng creed na yon?
Well, they arrive it based on the documents na nai-prefer on the, let's say, dun sa mismong yung sa mismong teksto na sinabi ni Apostle Paul na na-receive niya mula sa early church doon, particularly from Peter, James, John, you name it. At ito ay, kumbaga, present tayo
Question.
as evidence for that.
Question.
Thank you.
You said documents. What are those documents na ginamit ng mga biblical scholar para mag-arrive sa dating sa ng 1 Corinthians na malapit sa Jesus' presumed lifetime? Ano yung mga documents na yun?
I'm already talking about the early creeds na naisulat na yan. Ay, hindi pa, actually, hindi pa man ito naisulat pero na-presume na ito po ay na-memorize na. Ito po ay kasama po sa creeds na pinipresenta ng early church noon.
Objection, moderator. Objection, moderator.
Post time.
Yeah, as you can see, ang tanong ko sa kanya, sabi niya may mga documents. At tinatanong ko sa kanya ngayon, what are those specific documents?
Okay. Counter objection. Meron ba?
Okay, pwede ko naman linawin uli yung sagot ko kanina.
Okay, sige. Para maklarify lang na mabuti, Ilu, please repeat the question and then Sir Ruel, answer
Okay.
it. After nun, resume time tayo.
So sinabi kanina kasi ni Sir Rowell na meron daw mga documents. I don't know kung ano mga documents yun na pinagbasihan yung mga scholar. Kaya na-date nila yung creed sa 1 Corinthians na malapit sa presumed lifetime ni Jesus. So tinatanong ko, what are those specific documents?
Okay, yun. So, ito kasi mga historiador, they detect pre-Pauline material by creed-like structure, poetic rhythm, form, non-Pauline, vocabulary, Aramaic expression din na laganap dyan noong panahon na yun. That's all I can say for that. Thank you.
Okay, next question.
Okay, so hindi na ka pipigain doon kasi hindi mo masagot. Next tayo. Okay, are you aware na ang pinakaunang mention ni Paul, ang pinakaunang nag-mention kay Paul ay si Marcion, 144 AD?
Well, I'm not aware of that, but it doesn't mean na hindi nag-exist si Apostle Paul kung ganun. But anyway,
Okay, perfect. So, how is it possible na ang pinakaunang mention ni Apostle Paul ay through Marcion, 144 AD, kung talagang nag-e-exist si Paul no first century?
well, we've got his letters actually, especially yung 7 letters. Sige, i-consider natin yung 7 letters na pinipresenta as written by the Apostle Paul himself. So, dun natin masasabi na talagang merong existence concerning the Apostle Paul. That's all I can say for that.
Next question.
Okay, eto. Academically, ano ang mas reliable? Peer review na book or hindi?
books, journals, you name it.
Ang tanong ko ay ano ang mas reliable? Peer-reviewed book academically or hindi peer-reviewed?
Peer-reviewed, yun yung sagot ko kanina dyan.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so sabi mo peer-reviewed, no? Aware ka ba na ang book ni Dr. Richard Carrier at book ni Dr. Rafaela Taster 2014 and 2019 ay both peer-reviewed? Yes or no?
Kung sasabihin, pakiulit? Ay, okay, naalala ko na. Oh, masasabing peer-reviewed, pero hindi po ito nangangahulugan.
Hindi, tinatanong kita kung aware ka. Uy, objection moderator, tinatanong ko kung aware siya na peer-reviewed.
Nasagot ko na po yan, nasagot ko na yan. Sabi ko, aware naman po ako dyan. That's why I'm saying yes on that.
Okay, continue
Okay, so
with
aware
the
ka.
answer.
Now, ito, palagi mong Sige, go ahead.
May ano pa ba? May continuation objection?
Okay, answer daw. Continue.
Okay, continue with the answer, sir. Well, I think hindi naman na need ipa-clarify ulit yung question.
Okay, sabi ko kanina, yung tungkol sa peer-reviewed, yung sa mga books na Carrier, okay, peer-reviewed, yes, that's why. Okay? Pero it doesn't mean na tama po ang mga claims na kanilang mga sinabi, especially when it comes on the historical Jesus studies. That's all I can say for that.
Next question.
Okay, so we're talking about peer-reviewed to. Aware ka ba na hindi peer-reviewed ang book ni Bart Ehrman na Did Jesus Exist na na-publish noong 2012? Yes or no? Which is ginagamit mo?
Well, past for that kasi hindi ko pa nabasa yung sinasabing peer review, so to speak. Pero even if hindi siya peer review, so to speak, does it mean mali na agad po yung naturang data about the historical Jesus subject? That's all I can say for that.
Okay, sabi mo sa TikTok post mo, tinandaan ko to, noong December 25, related to the topic that we're discussing right now, sabi mo, kailangan peer-reviewed, kailangan may actual publication para seryosohin ng mga scholar. Bakit ka gumagamit ng aklat na hindi naman peer-reviewed to begin with, tulad ng Did Jesus Exist ni Bart Ehrman?
To answer the said question, ito sasabihin ko, hindi lamang yung libro ni Bart Ehrman lang ginagamit ko lang dyan. Ginagamit ko lang yun as an example dahil isa siya sa mga atheist na, or let me say agnostic scholar na nagbabanggit na merong historical Jesus na nag-exist. I'm not saying na
Next question.
absolutely yun na yun or whatsoever. Thank you.
Okay. Dahil sa criticize mo kanina yung Bayesian theorem, naniniwala kasi ako na for criticism to be valid, we must first understand yung depth ng argument being presented. Now, sa formula ng Bayes theorem, ano ang ibig sabihin ng PHE?
PHE? Second?
Sagot. Non-responsive objection moderator, nagja-chat GPT pa yata.
Hindi pa ako
Non-responsive.
ano?
Time.
Excuse me, kanina, ulitin lang yung sagot, ulitin lang yung tanong pala, ulitin yung tanong. And please, objection, mamaya na ako mag-counter
Okay.
objection later. Mamaya na ako mag-counter objection.
Hindi, ngayon na, Sir Ruel, para makapag...
Okay. To say na ako'y nag-chat GPT, seryoso. Oh, iba na yan. Oh. Anyway, to answer the said question, lalagpasan ko
Wait
na
lang,
naman
Sir
yan.
Ruel.
Pass na muna dyan. Pass na muna ako dyan.
Okay, pass daw ilo. Okay, resume time.
Okay, pass daw eh. Thank you. Okay, lagi mong sinasabi na hindi mag-iimbento ang mga Diyos ng story regarding sa isang crucified Messiah kasi nakakahiya siya para sa isang Messiah. Kaya imposible nga naman na mag-imbento ng narrative yung mga gospel authors. Okay.
Right.
Tanong ko sa iyo, no. Okay, ito yung tanong ko sa iyo, Sir Ruel. Aware ka ba na according mismo kay Bart Ehrman na ginodiyos mo pagdating sa Did Jesus Exist, na ang sumulat ng mga gospel ay Greek-speaking Christian at hindi mga Palestinian Jew? Aware ka ba? Ang tanong ko, aware ka ba? Yes or no?
Well, I'm aware on that actually, to be honest with you. Pero hindi po ito nangangahulugan na tama ang yung point of view kanina dyan. And by the way, I'm not making him, Bart Ehrman, a god of some sort pala. Ibang usapan yun. Anyway, next question.
Next question. paano mo i-reconcile ngayon yung criterion of embarrassment knowing na hindi naman pala mga Hudyo ang sumulat ng gospel kundi mga Greek-speaking Christians na nakatira outside Palestine?
Diyan napapasok ang masasabi ko na isa sa mga anong tawag doon? Isa sa mga pakiulit yung tanong pala. Ulitin, medyo na gano'n yung utak ko. Pasensya na.
Okay.
Ay,
Pause time.
natakbo yung time.
Sige lang. I'm not running here.
Pause time, pause time.
Ito, for the last time, para hindi na rin maubos yung oras pa kasi may mga panelists tayo, may adjudicators tayo dito. Please, last na itong uulitin and hopefully sana matapos na yung 4 minutes. Ilu, paulit-ulit, tapos pause time tayo and then pasagot. Tapos after sumagot, saka tayo resume time.
Okay, ito yung question, no? So, paano mo re-reconcile ngayon yung criterion of embarrassment knowing na hindi naman pala mga Hudyo ang sumulat ng mga gospel kundi mga Greek-speaking Christian na nakatira outside Palestine?
Diyan po masasabi ko na mali dyan si Bart Ehrman in this case naman ngayon. Kasi, you know what, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Jewish yung mga yan. Yan, dahil sulat ang New Testament in Greek kasi yan ang lingua franca. So, again, that's all I can say for that. Thank you.
Okay, resume time.
Okay, ginamit mo si Apostle Paul kanina yung mga letters niya. Aside from Galatians 1:19, can you give me any single verse where Paul talks about Jesus' family?
Jesus family. Argument from silence ang tatawagin ko dyan kasi hindi porke hindi yun nabanggit.
Hindi, tinatanong. Objection, moderator.
Let me answer this first and
Wait
foremost.
lang, may objection. What's the
Go.
objection?
Ang tanong ko sa kanya, can you give me in any single verse where Paul says Jesus had a family? Pero hindi niya sinasagot directly yung tanong. So sagutin niya yung tanong ko na can you give me any single verse where Paul says Jesus had a family aside from Galatians 1:19?
Okay, may counter ba?
It's just like parang, okay, can you show me a verse, letra por letra na ganito. Pero I will go to answer that, not in a way.
Objection, moderator.
Ako na magsasalita dyan, ako magsasagot dito, okay?
Sagutin mo muna yung question, please. Sagutin mo na question
Okay,
directly.
okay.
Can you give
That's why
me
I'm-
any single verse bago yung explanation?
That's why I will go to answer.
Wait lang, ruling tayo ng moderator. Pasagot ng question, I think valid naman siya. So,
Okay.
go.
So, bagamat hindi directly na-mention ang kanyang pamilya, pero meron ding, yan na, nabanggit na yung brother niya na si James, at syempre, yung fact that Jesus was born from a woman, born under the law. So, yung ganung tanong, actually, argument from silence na yan. That's all I can say for that. Thank you.
Okay, resume time.
Okay, so hindi mo na naman sinagot. Alright, ito na lang, no? Next question ko sa'yo. Ginamit mo sabi mo walang nagdi-deny sa existence ni Jesus. Aware ka ba sa dialogue ni Justin Martyr at Trypo, nung sinabi ni Trypo kay Justin Martyr na invention nyo lang yung Kristo nyo? Aware ka ba doon?
Well, I'm not aware on that, but if it is, I will go on to check it later. But tungkol naman kay Justin Martyr, I guess meron siyang rason kung bakit niya nabanggit yan. But I guess I will go on to talk that in later or whatsoever. Pass muna ako dyan.
Sabi mo sa mga argument mo na therefore na maraming copies ang NT or ang New Testament, therefore totoo. Tama ba? Dahil sa maraming copies, yung New Testament, therefore totoo.
Well, partly, let me say yes for that.
Okay. So dahil sa maraming copy ang New Testament, therefore totoo. So ibig sabihin, pag iisa lang yung copy, hindi na totoo.
Well, I will not consider that. Pero kasi ang pinaka-pinpoint issue dito ay may kinalaman sa dami ng mga kopya na meron dyan na nagpapatunay about the New Testament documents. But that's all I can say for that. Thank you.
Okay, so you're talking about, sabi mo din na yung Christianity ay laganap na ng 1st century. Can you give me any reference na yung Christianity ay laganap na outside of the Bible?
I will. We have already mentioned some of the documents, not only from Tacitus as well. We've got from Marabar Serapion, Suetonius. We've got, siyempre, Jewish Talmud na rin kasama na dyan. Meron din tayong mga records from Pliny the Younger as well, and many more of it. But for now,
Next
dahil
question.
limited na time, yun. Thank you.
Okay, kailan sinulat yung anal ni Tacitus?
If I'm not mistaken, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 2nd century.
Okay, 2nd century. Bakit mo siya ginagamit na reference sa mga events na nangyari 1st century?
Because sa panahon na yun, syempre, at alam naman natin, historiador din na masasabi itong si Tacitus. That's why na-mention din niya yung mga naganap, even nung panahon ni Emperor Nero, nung panahon na persecute doon ang mga Christians nung panahon niya, even nung panahon niya rin mismo. All I can say for that, thank you.
Next question.
So naniniwala ka sa account ni Tacitus na si Emperor Vespasian ay nakapagpagaling ng bulag dahil sa Diyos na si Serapis?
Well, I'm not on that kind of claim or argument, but I will gonna go check the said source, no? But ang point ko sa paggamit,
Tinatanong kita kung naniniwala
let me finish first. Let me finish that. Kaya ako nabanggit yung tungkol dyan about sa Christianity and some sort of it dahil doon sa
Objection moderator, nakukonsume yung time ko pero hindi siya directly sumasagot sa question.
May counter ba?
Nakukonsume yung time ko, which is patapos na unfortunately, pero hindi siya sumasagot directly sa question. Ang tanong ko naman sa kanya, naniniwala ba siya? Sagutin niya muna ba yes or no and then explain.
May counter ba, Sir Ruel?
Actually, I've already answered that. Even if meron siyang ganong record, it doesn't mean, okay, doon sa record na yun, sige sabihin natin
Wait
hindi
lang,
man
wait lang.
totoo yan, historically.
Is
Okay?
that a response to counter objection or sagot na mismo?
Actually, ito sasagutin ko na lang para sure kasi tapos yung oras natin.
Okay, pause time ma. Okay, go sagot.
Okay. Sabihin natin na sige, hindi yun totoo yung tungkol sa binanggit niya kanina. But it doesn't mean na wala siyang matatawag na reliable historical records pa rin dyan. Let me say, doon sa nangyari nung panahon ni Emperor Nero, about Christian persecution, about kay Christ na na-crucified under Pontius
Next question.
Pilate, you name it.
Okay. So, hindi ba double standard yan? Kasi hindi mo pinapaniwalaan yung account na yun, pero at the same time, naniniwala ka dun sa account ni Tacitus about Jesus.
No, I'm not even using double standards here, my friend. Kumbaga, pinipinpoint ko lang na hindi lang naman si Tacitus lamang yan. Nabanggit ko na yung iba pang mga names ng mga non-Christian histories. Yung iba nga, they really hated Christ at all. And yet, they recognize that there is someone whose name was Jesus from Nazareth
Time.
na nag-exist noon. Anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, now na natapos na ang cross-examination.
Okay, sige. Ladies and gentlemen, bago tayo matapos, I want to step back for a moment kasi, no? Not to argue, not to score points, but to reflect on what actually happened dito sa debate na to. Ano ba ang tamang paraan sa pagharap ng history, so to speak, no? Kasi you see, tingnan nyo, what this debate really revealed? Sa kabuuan ng discussion namin, malinaw po na magkaiba ang standard namin, magkaiba yung standard namin. Ang isang panig, standard historical method. Nagbanggit na tayo ng early sources, multiple attestation, enemy testimony, embarrassment context. Ang isa pa, humingi ng contemporary documentation na halos kung honest o kung masasabi natin na kung gagamitin lang sana niya yung standard din niya, then halos walang historical figures, antiquity ang pumapasa. And let's be honest, special pleading po ang nangyari kasi Kung standard na hinihingi para kay Jesus ay hindi mo ginagamit sa ibang tao sa kasaysayan, hindi na po yung skepticism. Pangalawa, sa demand po ni Ilo na contemporary evidence. Yes, to be clear, wala tayong surviving document na isinulat habang si Jesus ay buhay pa noon. Pero, normal po ba ito sa ancient history? Yes. Most people in antiquity, even important ones, left no contemporary documents. History survives through near contemporary testimony. Living memory and oral tradition ang naitala agad. And that is exactly what we have with Jesus. Meron tayong pre-Pauline traditions within a few years of crucifixion. We've got the Apostle Paul, who personally knew Jesus' closest followers. Meron po tayong hostile Roman and Jewish sources nang walang rason para imbentuhin yan. So kung hindi sapat, hindi si Jesus ang problema, standard ang problema. Sa silence at selective skepticism, maraming binanggit na silence. Philo did not mention Jesus. Seneca did not mention Jesus. Pliny the Elder did not mention Jesus, you name it. But silence only matter if the person should have mentioned him. Philo wrote philosophy, not peasant movements. Seneca wrote ethics, not criminal cases. Pliny the Elder wrote natural sciences. Ngayon, to expect them to mention a provincial Jewish teacher executed as a criminal is to misunderstand history. Silence is not evidence unless it is relevant silence. And in this case, it isn't. Kamusta naman yung Gospels and early testimony? You see, much has been said about the Gospels being anonymous, late, or dependent, which is paikot-ikot na lang. But are they early? Are they connected to eyewitnesses? Are they corroborated? The Gospels were written within living memory. They align with early creeds, they fit first century Jewish context, and they are confirmed, at least on the basic facts, by non-Christian sources. So, hindi porke anonymous, ibig sabihin unreliable. Hindi porke dependence, ibig sabihin fabricated. And early does not mean perfect, but it does mean historical. Ngayon, what this debate was not about. This debate was not about proving Christianity by force. It was not about winning by insult or mockery. And it was certainly not about blind faith. Christianity at its core makes a risky claim. Kung si Jesus ay hindi nabuhay muli, ang ating pananampalataya walang kwenta. Kaya you see, sa aming naisagawang questions, cross-examinations, rebuttal, I don't think meron talagang napatunayan si Mr. Ilo sa kabuuan ng diskusyon na nangyari. I will tell you later in the concluding statement for a while. Now, so after all the methods, the criteria, the names, and the arguments, let's go to the deeper issue. Ito ay hindi lamang did Jesus exist only. History answers that with confidence. Ngayon, kung siya ay nag-exist, what will you do to him? Kasi kung talagang nag-exist siya, and if he claimed what he claimed to be, then neutrality is not an option. So ngayon, I would like to end this up by this. Faith does not fear questions. Truth does not fear investigation. And by the way, history does not bend to mockery. I don't care if someone will call me names here. But I already expected that this kind of argumentation will be presented here. However, as you can see, doon natin mapansin na magkaiba talaga. Yun lang ang maging problema dyan, saan dyan ang totoo. So, you see, Jesus of Nazareth does not disappear because of silence, skepticism, or sarcasm, like what happened right now. He remains where he was always been, at the center of history, asking each generation the same question. Who do you say that I am? And by the way, if Jesus did not really exist, bakit kaya siya yung itinuturing na greatest and most influential person who ever lived in history? Yun lamang po ang aking masasabi dito, and thank you so much. Jesus is Lord.
Okay.
Thank you. Ayan. So, nakita natin sa cross-examination na hindi naman sinasagot directly ni Sir Ruel yung mga questions ko and kailangan ko pa siyang i-call out multiple times. At the same time, yung signal niya is hindi rin maganda kaya hindi din talaga kami magkaintindihan sa cross-examination. Delay yung dating sa kanyang sagot at baka delay din yung dating sa kanya ng tanong. I don't know kung nagde-delay yan pero possible yan. Diba? Anyway, criticize niya yung Bayesian theorem which is hindi naman niya pala alam kung anong ibig sabihin ng PHE. Na kung ang ibig sabihin ng PHE sa formula ng Bayes theorem is probability of a hypothesis given an explanation. So ganun lang kasimple. How can you criticize something if you don't really know in depth kung ano yung criticize mo? So wala, minimimik lang, pinaparot lang ni Sir Ruel yung mga common objections, yung mga common circularity and reasoning ng mga fellow Christianak. Pero again, that's how it goes. Sinabi niya na greatest, most influential person, si Jesus of Nazareth. How is it possible na kung siya yung pinaka-greatest and most influential person sa ancient history, bakit yung contemporary evidence sa kanya ay lacking? Ginamit niya si Josephus, ginamit niya si Tacitus, ginamit niya yung mga gospels na hindi reliable, hindi din independent sources kasi nagkopyahan lang sila sa isa't isa. Ginamit niya yung Pauline letters which is dated 144 AD by recent scholarship kasi si Marcion of Sinope ang pinakaunang nag-publish nung Pauline letters. So that's why ina-argue ng mga biblical scholar dito sa recent scholarship na ito ay hindi first century. Tinanong ko siya kung paano niya dinate yung creed sa 1 Corinthians. Hindi din niya nasagot. Sabi niya lang may pre-material kasi yung na ginamit yung mga scholar. Alam mo ba, bro, turuan kita ng history. Baka hindi mo kasi alam. Ang dating ng Pauline letters specifically, nag-rely sila sa Acts. Considered na yung Acts, sinulat siya after ng Pauline letters. Kasi may part doon o may verse doon sa Acts na iniharap daw si Paul kay Gallio. And si Gallio nabuhay sa period na yon, so inassume ng mga scholar na totoo yung kwento na yon, and that's why dinate nila yung Pauline letters doon. See? Yan yung sinasabi kanina ni Dr. Rafaela Taster na assumption. Assumption plus assumption plus assumption. Nagki-create ng division. Kaya magaling yung mga Christianity sa mathematics. Kasi they can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Sila yung nakadiscover ng math actually. Let's talk about yung gospel. Paano ba dinate yung mga gospel? Ang pinakaunang gospel ay Gospel of Mark. Paano dinate ang Gospel of Mark? 70 AD. Sino makakasagot dyan sa comment section? Well, dinate ang Gospel of Mark primarily kasi may nakasulat doon na sabi ni Jesus, nalalapit na yung pagkawasak ng templo. Historically, yung templo nawasak during 70 AD. Nung dinestroy ng mga Roman, yung temple, sinage yung mga Jews. And so that's why, again, another assumption na tinitreat ng mga scholar na totoo yung kwento and then i-align nila doon sa isang historical event. Doon nila na-date yung Gospel of Mark. Yun yung pinaka-primarily reason kung bakit ang dating ng Mark ay 70 AD. Hindi ba possible na, for example, sumulat ako ngayon, 2025, ng story sa ancient Sumeria 2,000 years ago? Hindi ba possible yun? Possible yun. So, kahit pwedeng mangyari na 2nd century sinulat yung Gospel of Mark, and then yung setting ng event or yung narrative or yung kwento ng event is nakafocus doon sa 1st century. Gaya nung destruction ng Second Temple ng mga Hudyo. Ginamit ito yung pinaka non-biblical source for Jesus historicity, itong Testimonium Flavianum. Baka nga hindi alam ni Sir Ruel kung paano bigkasin to parang spell lang sa Harry Potter. Pero Sir Ruel, we know na hindi authentic ang Testimonium Flavianum ni Josephus. Dahil mismong si Josephus, hindi siya naniniwala na si Jesus ang Messiah, ayon mismo kay Origen. Kaya bakit niya sasabihin ang praise dun sa Testimonium Flavianum? Karapat-dapat ba it is lawful if it's lawful to call himself a man kay Jesus? Lumalabas na para kay Josephus, hindi karapat-dapat na tawaging tao lang si Jesus. Ang praise na ito ay nagpapakita ng Christian intention. Kaya ito ay isang forgery ng mga early Christian scribes. Isa pa sa mga obvious na problem is that Josephus was a Pharisaic Jew. The same people Jesus called children of the devil. Additionally, si Eusebius ang primary source natin sa mga sulat ni Josephus. 12 Christian historian ang nagde-defend ng historicity ng Christianity. Wala silang na-mention kahit ano regarding Testimonium Flavianum tulad ni Justin Martyr. Inilaan ni Justin Martyr ang talambuhay niya, yung mga sulat niya sa pagde-defend ng criticism sa Christianity. Just like nung inakusahan ni Trypo na invention lang ng mga Christian yung Kristo nila. Yet hindi ginamit ni Justin Martyr na defense yung Testimonium Flavianum. At bakit sa Antiquities of the Jews lamang na mention ni Josephus si Jesus? Ang nauna niyang isinulat ay Jewish War. And sa Jewish War, ang daming messianic claimants na na-mention si Josephus tulad ni Simon Giora, Judas the Galilean, the Egyptian prophet. In fact, si Eusebius lamang ang pinakaunang nag-mention ng Testimonium Flavianum ni Josephus 300 years after Jesus' death, 230 years after Josephus' death. Kaya sa peer-reviewed paper ni Ken Olson, ipinakita niya na Eusebian origin ang Testimonium Flavianum after examining the penmanship, grammar usage, writing style, etc. Well, hindi naman nakakapagtaka na imbentohin ni Eusebius ang Testimonium Flavianum kasi siya na rin mismo yung nagsabi sa Preparatio Evangelica na aklat niya, tama lang minsan na magsinungaling kung beneficial naman ito sa nakararami. Eusebius shows how unreliable he is when he said, But we shall introduce into this history in general only those events which may be useful first to ourselves and afterwards to posterity. So again, wasak at debunk na naman si Sir Ruel. So dinibunk ko yung Testimonium Flavianum kahit na hindi. Okay, thank you. And thank you sa mga nanood. Pinasasalamatan ko kayo. And sana marami kayong natutunan na mga educational dito sa aming debate namin. I want it to be educational. However, kasi yung kalaban ko, anong ginawa niya? Pinarot lang niya, sinabi niya lang, nag-a-agree kasi yung mga scholar, ganito kasi yung nakasulat. Hindi naman niya in-explained. Kita nyo naman yung lalim ng historicity ko. Kung paano ko na-explain yung Testimonium Flavianum, yung sulat ni Tacitus, Suetonius, etc., yung Gospels, Pauline letters, kung bakit hindi sila reliable to begin with. Anong sinabi lang ni Sir Ruel? Nakasulat kasi, nag-agree yung scholar, that's it. Tapos na, period. Hindi niya explain in detail way. So nakita nyo naman kung paano ko nilampaso, iningud-ngud, sinupalpal, dinumisan, giniba. I am lost for adjective to use ang historical certainty ng aking opponent regarding sa existence ng historical Jesus. From opening statement to rebuttal down to the cross-examination sabay lay-up, I presented them as if I were a trained historian in Harvard University at siya yung nasa Rofor student. I argue that historical Jesus did not exist because there is no contemporary evidence, no inscription, no letter, no manuscript, nothing, just a pure claim of fiction, whereas my opponent merely resorts to quote mining. Sabi ni ganyan, sabi ni ganito. And siya na mismo yung nag-a-agree na wala naman nga talagang contemporary evidence. Pero siya din mismo yung nagsasabi na the greatest and most influential person daw si Jesus. Paano nangyari yun? How come the greatest, influential, most influential person on earth, walang contemporary evidence? Think about it. Diba? So, sabi nila, ang greatest miracle daw ni Jesus is yung resurrection. But para sa akin, hindi yun yung greatest resurrection. Hindi yun yung greatest miracle ni Jesus, yung resurrection. Ang greatest miracle ni Jesus of Nazareth is yung mabuhay siya and maging popular siya during that time. Nagkasagawa siya ng mga public miracles. Nakausap niya yung prefect ng Judea, Pontius Pilate, privately in person. Wow, privately in person pa. It's like nakausap mo si Trump nung time na yon. And then, wala ni isang contemporary evidence. And that's why tama yung accusation ni Trypo. Imbento lang ng mga Kristo ang kanilang Jesus. Wala namang masama sa pag-quote ng mga experts, but we have to understand quotation without justification is dead. In fact, I made this debate History 101, while my opponent made this debate parroting. Pinaparot niya lang yung mga sinasabi ng mga scholars na agree sa kanya. Hindi niya in-explain in detailed way kung bakit ganito, bakit ganyan. Diba? I have demonstrated that we cannot rely on the Gospels because the Gospels are anonymous, contradictory, and contain fabricated stories. As what influential biblical and Catholic scholar Thomas Thompson says, the assumption that the Gospels portray a historical Jesus is not truly justified. Mantakin mo, biblical scholar, Catholic, agree na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ang gospel to justify the existence of historical Jesus. Parang si Thomas Brody lang, former Dominican priest, which is nabanggit ko kanina sa opening statement ko. Naniniwala siya na merong Jesus and Paul, pero by faith. And he said, hindi siya naniniwala na nag-exist historically si Jesus and Paul. We have to understand na normal sa ancient history ang euhemerize, kung saan hini-historicize ng mga author yung existence ng isang mythical figure tulad ni Hercules, Romulus, Remus, Asclepius, which is ganun nga ang nangyari. Jesus began as a mythical figure, then later on sa pagsulat ng mga author ng mga gospel na hindi natin alam kung sino yung mga to, na historicize, nagkaroon ng history itong si Jesus. Nagkaroon siya ng magulang, kung paano siya pinanganak, kung saan siya naglalakad, nagpapagaling, etc. I have also argued that we cannot use Pauline epistles because even the existence of Paul and the authenticity of his letters are now being questioned by recent scholarship, which hindi naman siya nag-rebat doon. So anong meron tayo para sa historicity ni Jesus? Paul letters, debunk. Gospels, debunk. Sulat ni Josephus na debangko. Sulat ni Tacitus, dinebangko rin. Sulat ni Pliny the Younger. Actually, si Pliny the Younger, sinasabi niya lang na, well, may mga grupo ng mga Christian na sumasamba kay Christ. That's it. Parang dinidescribe lang ni Pliny the Younger na ganito yung paniniwala ng certain group na to. At kung talamak na talaga yung mga Christian at laganap na, bakit si Pliny the Younger hindi siya aware sa mga Christians? In fact, meron tayong letters ni Pliny the Younger kay Emperor Trajan, and then sinasabi niya kay Emperor Trajan, sabi ni Pliny the Younger, ano bang gagawin ko sa mga Christians na to? Ini-interview ni Pliny the Younger yung mga Christians kasi inaalam ni Pliny the Younger yung paniniwala nila. Kung talagang certain si Sir Ruel na ang Christianity ay laganap na ng 1st century, bakit itong si Pliny the Younger writing in the 2nd century, wala siyang kamalay-malay sa kung sino yung mga Christian at kung ano yung paniniwala nila? Diba? Hindi nagme-make sense. Lahat ng mga nilatag ko pointing na ang Christianity at ang fictional Jesus ay 2nd century creation. Hindi siya 1st century. Diba? Nagtatagpi-tagpi, nakikita nyo na na-enlighten na kayo. So, sorry Sir Ruel, but you failed to justify historical Jesus in this debate. Palitan mo na yung quotation mo, hindi na Jesus saves, rather Jesus is disappointed. Sa mga Kristiyano na nanonood ngayon, hopefully mag-sink in sa inyo ang realidad na hindi historicity or hindi historical si Jesus. I would close my opening statement in a quotation from Dr. Rafael Lataster. The best evidences for Jesus' historicity are inauthentic. Jesus is probably not existing. Thank you, time, and salamat sa lahat.
Ayun. Deduction kay closing remarks.
Salamat sa Debate of the Future platform. Maraming salamat sa maayos na moderation, malinaw na rules at pagkakataon na gawing educational ang discussion na to. Guys, maraming salamat din sa inyo. Christian man kayo, atheist, agnostic, skeptic, whoever you are. Ang inyong pakikinig ay tanda na talagang meron po kayong malasakit sa katotohanan. Ngayon, gusto kong ihinto muna ang details at itanong ang mas mahalagang tanong. Talaga bang na-debunk ang historical Jesus? Meron ba talagang matinong debunking na nangyari? O na-dismiss lang siya gamit ang skepticism na may imposibleng pamantayan? Kasi guys, magkaiba po ang refutation at rejection. Ang refutation, dapat may counter evidence. Pero ang rejection, wala. ayaw niyang tanggapin. Ayaw kong tanggapin, parang ganun. So makikita po natin ang malinaw na pagkakaiba ng dalawang approach. Sa aking panig, we've used historical method, criteria like early sources, multiple attestation, hostile witnesses and embarrassment, named sources, and open to falsification. Pero sa panig ni Ilu, silence argument, meme rhetoric, walang contemporary evidence as absolute rule, appeal to fringe mythicism, and mockery as substitute for counter evidence. Guys, listen. Ang historical facts, mananalo lamang yan pag na-explain yung best explanation of the data. Ngayon, sa silence of contemporary evidence, paulit-ulit natin narinig, walang contemporary evidence. Kaso, if we listen carefully, ang silence ay hindi po evidence ng non-existence, maliban lamang kung inaasahan talaga natin na babanggitin siya, may dahilan ang manunulat na banggitin siya, at may access siya sa information. Philo of Alexandria, philosopher yan, hindi po yung historiador. Seneca, stoic moralist, sa kanyang paksa. So hindi po obligasyon ng bawat ancient writer na banggitin si Jesus Christ. At kung gagawin natin itong standard, then kung maging honest po ang ating kausap, then burado na rin si Socrates, si Spartacus at Hannibal sa ilang yugto on consensus as imaginary di umano. Sabi niya kasi fabricated, kasi dominated ng mga Kristiyano. Pero kung bias lang pala ang rason, nasa ng alternative explanation? Nandun pa rin yung burden of proof ni Ilu doon na hindi po naipresenta sa buong debate. Kahit sa cross-examination, wala po naipresenta na counter-evidence. Hindi sapat na sabihin, Christian scholars lang yan. Dapat mas maayos na method, mas maagang sources, mas malinaw na paliwanag. But here's the irony. Mas maraming atheist historians, kumbaga, ang tumatanggap ng historical Jesus kaysa sa internet mythicist. Hindi po imaginary ang consensus, inconvenient lang po ito sa mythicism. Ngayon, concerning the Gospels, Paul, anonymous claim, ay nako. Oo, anonymous ang gospel sa loob ng teksto, pero hindi anonymous ang tradisyon. Okay, tayo ipagpalagay natin. Anonymous, hindi eyewitness, late details. Kaso hindi pa rin dito binabagsak ang historical Jesus because we've got undisputed letters of Paul, pre-Pauline creeds, hostile Roman and Jewish sources. O nga pala, concerning kay Apostle Paul, kilala niya si James na kapatid ni Kristo, kilala niya si Apostle Peter. At saka by the way, di ba si Apostle Paul dati siyang persecutor ng mga Kristiyano, pero nag-change radically? So, ang sabihin Paul never existed, hindi po yan skepticism, kundi historical denialism. Now, ano po ba ang na-debunk ni Ilu sa kabuuan ng debate? Ang totoo niyan, hindi niya pinabulaanan ng early creeds. Hindi niya ipaliwanag ang hostile testimony. Hindi niya ipinaliwanag ang transition ng mga Polonisto. Lalong hindi niya ipinaliwanag ang movement. Anong ginawa niya? Taasan ang standard hanggang maging imposible. Tawaging presupposition ng anumang evidence, tawaging recycled ang mga arguments na hindi niya nasagot. Hindi po ganito gumagana ang kasaysayan, mga kapatid. Ngayon, I know we've got the followers of Ilu here, and kahit sa mga nakikinig na interesante dyan, gusto kong sabihin ito ng malinaw at may respeto po sa lahat. Not only to you, my friends, kundi sa lahat na. Hindi po naging critical thinker ang tao dahil lahat ay tinatanggihan. Naging critical thinker ang isang tao kapag sinusuri nito ang evidence ng patas. So kung mali ang historical Jesus, then you need better explanation. Hindi po mas mahabang listahan ng memes. At sa mga Christians po na nakikinig sa atin, Christianity is not blind faith. Nabanggit na kanina. Sabi ni Paul, if Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile. Ibig sabihin, pwede natin siya sa atin, pwede natin suriin, pwedeng i-falsify. Katunayan, even after the debate. And I would like to say thanks to Mr. Ilu for presenting his own position to re-examine it better. Yan, guys. Matapos ang lahat ng history scholarship debate, ito na ang tanong na hindi kayang sagutin ng kahit anong mga pangutya. at kahit anumang mga objections dyan ng kung ano man. If Jesus really existed, if He died on the cross, if His disciples were ready to lay down their lives because of the fact that they had seen Him alive again, ano ang gagawin mo kay Jesus? Hindi ito simpleng academic question lang to. Ito'y existential. Jesus is not just a figure of history. He is the center of history. Kung si Jesus nga ay nag-exist, kung siya nga ay nabuhay na maguli, then whether we like it or not, Christianity is true. It changes everything. And to end this up, my friends, here's our challenge to every one of us. Let's re-examine both sides. Good evening. Jesus existed. Jesus is Lord. God bless at magandang gabi. Maraming salamat.
Ayun. So, clarification lang.